Handsomes, JacobyK back here with a tier list video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the greatest Black Ops 4 Alcatraz grinders of all time. As you can see here, you go at 20 grinders within this premises of the realm. I've picked these guys out with a certain precaution, so the tier list is going to be new players, obviously, who are still active at this time. We're not going to be looking at corpses such as PD Breezy or Dill or Bear Pig. May they rest in peace and their bodies and their corpses be undisturbed in their graves. So they're gonna be left undisturbed. But in this video, we're gonna be taking a look at everyone who uploads gameplays. Usually, I've picked out the most known people. So if you're not on the list, you are random. If you wanna have any sort of arguments about that, like me personally, I don't really take complaints. Like my Maddox kind of takes care of that sort of shit. So if you want to really have any complaints about that, my Maddox will take care of it at the range, no problem. You can meet that shit anytime over there and discuss it with him. Anyway, let's get straight into this. This was suggested by Space, who's a sexy beast in BO4, so goes up to him. And I guess we'll begin right here anyway. So we got Barbaric stuff, we got some E, D, C, B, A, S. Obviously S is the best and E is the worst. Anything else I've got to say? No, I don't think so. So Barbaric stuff, I mean, we're coming in here quite reasonably strong. Now consider these like the top echelon of grinders within Alcatraz. So even if you do end up on like an E tier, like that doesn't mean to clear your ass. Like that means you're the worst of the best, I would say. So Barbaric Sloth as a whole, he has 330 bombs. They're quite stretched out over a long period of time. I think his first 30 might have even been before I was even alive in Alcatraz. He uploads a lot of 20s and his consistency is quite good. His affairs have meddled him into other forms of Alcatraz, like mobile, which is interesting. He's one of the, I think he's the only person who's actually mixed content there. Maybe one day I will. As a whole, I would put it lower tier on E, because we're going to be having a lot of grinders up here that is going to be taking these places. So maybe we'll move him up later, but I think he would be lowercase because of the quite a reasonably lower amount of 30s in comparison to a lot of these people, and like stretches. I think his current best is 30 right now. Fearful Dad, he's uploaded a video right now, but he's kind of on the edge of death. I don't know, we shall see. Maybe he'll revive himself, but that's kind of up to him. But anyway, Fearful Dad, in my opinion, I would kind of put him in a B tier, to be fair with you. So there is some really big grinders which would go on S and some grinders on S. Fearful Dad is a very capable individual within the realm of Alcatraz and Blackout. However, he lacks infrastructural knowledge that would originate from multiplayer and League. Some of the grinders here actually have knowledge that comes from outside of Blackout, which makes them more ferocious within the game. Fearful Dad is an individual who has basically been an Alcatraz grinder for the whole of his life. He's very capable within the realm, but I think that is a limiting point, and you'll see that with other grinders here as well. As a whole, his skill, I think if you were to compare him to his older abilities and industrial content bases, you could sometimes make an argument he could have been up in A, but I think his demobilization of his content industries, his exhaustion and unfortunate current predicaments would put him a bit lower, but we shall see. In time, this is all, you can move around and shit. I guess since we're looking at some of the top echelon of people, we'll take a look at, like, we might skip over straight to Crazy. Crazy, in my opinion, we're taking a look at the A, the second most 30s in the game currently. The second most 40s. Well, it's a interesting one, because with Crazy and Fiji, both of them, their records are both how would you describe it? I guess you could say boosted, yeah. So there's two technically, with Fiji 56 or 46, with Crazy 47 or 43. So it's difficult to try and estimate on records, but we'll estimate on consistency instead. Crazy has had enormously very good consistency within his industries. He is one of the older individuals within the game, and he has survived and tried himself to the test of time more than others who have been unfortunately buried within the sands of time, I guess, which have extinguished their flames. He still carries on, he's good. The reason it's not quite an S is I'm basing this a lot from my views and my interpretation of the game. I'm not a blackout player. For a lot of people who don't understand that, I'm a grinder. I'm a multiplayer league zombies grind. I'm a account grinder. There is an S tier reserved for people who have exclusive knowledge within other realms of Black Ops 4, which allows them to enhance and propel their already established skills within Blackout. Crazy does not have access to this knowledge, as he is simply a Blackout player who's been Blackout grinding for ages. You will see other individuals who will be able to enhance their skills and go up in the S tier later on there. Actually, I think there might be only one individual who would be able to reach such a level. But Crazy, definitely a top A tier player, of course. He is, I'd say, in the current predicament of Alcatraz, the symbolic, I guess, most worthy individual of a person who could stretch Blackout capabilities to their fullest without implementing other forms of endeavors. Let's go further. I guess I will keep, I might skip over some people. By the way, this is Vive Repentance. I don't know if he changed his name, but it was Fuck the System before. I don't know. I think it's Vive Repentance now. There's no name. It's just some random ass profile picture. By the way, this laptop is Cam the Sweat. His profile pic is a rest in peace. Kind of like his channel. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we got our boy Vive Repentance here. An ally of Fearful Dad. I would say he's like kind of mid-tier, had a few 30s before. I think he has more in stock from what I know. He's a capable individual, however his main, I guess, influence lies within his stretched potential of games rather than consistency. So I think we'll put him on C. He definitely had a good passion on content creation at a certain time. However, his endeavors seem to have been derailed at the current predicament. Definitely not like worst tier off. He's a very capable individual. I think if he were to he could definitely upload more and be capable of more gameplays. I'm also not basing this off of public image or grind ability. I'm simply talking about raw skill and ability to mine 30 bombs and exert dominance over the plane of Alcatraz. Moving on, we got Genocide. Genocide is a weird one because he hasn't uploaded in a while. His 40 bomb got stolen by an e-girl. Rest in peace. He could have joined the 40 bomb club, but not really. Out of all these people, there's actually only a few here who have 40s. Not many, to be quite honest with you. But with Genocide, I'm thinking we put him on a nice B tier. The issue with Genocide is I don't know where he is now. He's kind of in the middle of nowhere land in Warzone or something. Man died, rest in peace. So it's kind of difficult to tell if he would be better off than Fearful Dad on B tier or not. It's quite interesting. I think if you were talking about Genocide before and you wanted to compare him to Fearful Dad, he would be ahead. He's an individual who has endeavored into other affairs like League. I mean, he's not really like a League grinder, but at least he's a bit more knowledgeable within other forms of the game, which enhances the gameplay. I think he would be more capable of shooting back as Fearful, but I think if he came back, he might be at a bit of a disadvantage here. He does have, I think, nearly some of the most 30s in the game right now. I think he's like top 8 or something statistically, so we're gonna put him right here, I think below Fearful, because Fearful is still here. Genocide, yeah, he kind of disappeared. Rest in peace to him. Let's go over to some other grinders. I think we'll skip a few. We got Josh Cod the Grinder. No 30s yet. I actually included him on this list specifically only because he has a bunch of subs and I think people would still know him. So the two variables on this list were like, if you have a 40, I'll include you. If you have a bunch of 30s, I'll include you. Josh Cod was one of the specific ones, and so was Barks. This is Barks right here, where both of them, Barks doesn't have anything officially, but he's known, and Josh Cod doesn't have anything officially, but he is also known. With Josh Cod, I think we're going to put him at a nice E tier. It's very similar to Bob Alex Sloth in the sense that their realm of endeavors is specifically based off of consistency within the 20 bomb realm, I guess. Josh Cod still has not got that 30, but he is grinding. You never know, maybe in the future. I think we're going to push Josh Cod like slightly below Barbaric Sloth right here. Maybe one day he shall get a 30 bomb and be the #1 grinder of all time. We shall see. Who knows? Maybe. We'll move over to Cam the Sweat, Fearful Dad's brother, maybe his husband. Who knows? They be chilling around together. They be getting married and shit. Who knows? But yeah, we're gonna put them in B tier obviously together. I think With Cam the Sweat is a weird one because I'm not exactly too sure like who's better particularly. If you want to know who I 30 bombed, I mean I 30 bombed most of these guys here, I think. But yeah, I definitely 30 bombed quite a few of these guys. But with Genocide, I have 30 bombed him. I don't know, I don't think I've 30 bombed Cam or Fearful yet. But maybe one day I'll hunt them down. Cam actually has more gameplays than Fearful. I'm not particularly sure who's better. I think they're kind of the same, to be quite honest with you. Now, if Genocide was back, he would definitely be ahead. But I don't know what this guy's gone to Narnia, bruv. I think we'll put Cam at a reasonable place, like probably below Fearful, I would say. Now, Fearful has one thing: he's part of the 40 bomb club. He's got 2 40s, which is quite a reasonable amount of stock, while Cam not yet. His PR of 38 seems to be quite a stretch. He has not achieved it again in the last 2 years. So I think we'll put Fearful Dad here, and possibly we might put Genocide a bit ahead. I think Genocide might be a bit ahead of Cam if he were to return and actually grind. IFEGX, he is still here, the #1 American grinder statistically, I think, currently within the current game. Again, PRs records are retarded with both of these. So I will put him with A tier on Crazy. There's one reason I would put him ahead, however, and that's, as I mentioned, with the S tier. The knowledge availability of Fiji is more enhanced than Crazy's. He is not a blackout grinder. Simply, he is a man who grinds league play and other endeavors within the game. So just by that, I would believe he is more superior than Crazy. I'm talking not particularly about most 30 bombs. If you want to see who has the most 30s or statistically who's the best, who can grind the most stuff out, you can watch my History of Alcatraz video on my front page of YouTube. I'm just talking about who I believe has the most raw skill. In my opinion, Fiji would be a more tougher adversary than Crazy. If you disagree, no problem. This is simply how I see the game and how I view it. We might go over it later as well. This is Illy Stress, by the way. This is a weird ass profile picture, but it is what it is. Some of these guys have no name in their profile, so it is quite interesting. Illy Stress is quite a reasonably good American. I would say from the gameplays I've watched, he's very decent, very capable. I do believe he lacks a bit of very complex S tier understanding of the game, similar to how all these blackout grinders do, but he is very good. I believe his records are quite heavy as well. His industries have kind of throttled. I don't know where his gameplays are at, but they are not here anymore. I think we're gonna put him somewhere in the B tier with all these grinders here. I'm not sure exactly where particularly. I'm thinking because I haven't seen him around, to be honest, quite a bit, we might put him like down here as a safe spot, because I don't really know him too well. We might go over some of these guys later as well to talk about them a bit more. Barks. Now Barks, well, most people might not know him because the Barks name has been sent to hell now. It no longer exists. I'm not going to tell you what Barks plays as now, because I don't know, maybe he'll want to be hidden in secrecy somewhere, who knows. I'm not too sure if people want to know his name. Barks does not upload any gameplays, however he is revered and feared by many. His name has even traveled into the depths of the league play masters and Americans who worship him like Trey. Anyway, we're gonna put him down to S tier. Now, most people might not understand this particularly well, but out of all the people within Alcatraz, there was only particularly one individual who I took a lot of influence from, and that was actually Barks and his ideas and developments he would use to get kills. And it fascinated me within his playstyle that he employed, because I couldn't kind of comprehend what he was doing. Eventually I understood it, and I understand how it works now, but with it I could develop the vacuum doctrine and a lot of the thought processes I use now. This wasn't something that was present with basically anyone below here. So out of all the people within Black Ops 4 Alcatraz, he was the main or the most influential to me in knowledge, other than me, myself, obviously. So that's why I actually put him here. He is I think he would be the most capable man from Alcatraz. Also within any other realm of expertise within Black Ops 4, his Maddox is ready. He will meet anyone at the range for $1 and he will rob your ass. So there's no problem. He's an individual who also uses a very weird setup, which is also quite different from what other people use. 6/6 sensitivity, default controller, although people do believe he keyboards. That is false. Default controller with one single control freak and double claw. A setup that is worthy of sexiness. So that's why he's up here. He would be a goated individual. I do believe he should have uploaded his gameplays. If he did, he would definitely be top tier grinder. So I do actually believe that he deserves an S tier spot within this tier list. As Trey said, Barks, my daddy, is the #1 Blackout Alcatraz player. Yeah, that's him. Anyway, Killer Gamer, #1 grinder from Australia. He's very limited by the ping and lobby potential he has, and I think because of that we might actually reconsider where we're going to put him, because Killer Gamer's knowledge of the game is very, very good. He's one of the greatest gatekeepers of all time. Most people hate him because he's a gatekeeper, so we're going to put him in A tier. Most people may not understand how this works, but just by a raw skill, Killer Gamer definitely outdoes a lot of these individuals here. Australian lobbies and Australian lifestyles are not the same as what people would expect of Alcatraz. This is a very different realm that most people don't really understand how it works. Lobbies don't fill. There's hella grinders in there. Ping is ass. It's like Diligent's hotspot host in there on guard. And Killer Gamer, he beat your ass down regardless. He holds the Australian world record at 36. Might maybe stretch it to 40 one day, who knows. With his skills and capabilities, like Barks, I learned a few things from Killer Gamer as well. Smaller things, but little things there and there, which I've employed in my gameplays. And that's why he deserves an A spot in my opinion. If he were to be alive and be born in any other location, or even just move right now, I think he would be definitely able to beast a lot of the other grinders, possibly even going up further and further. But we're going to keep him here. He is the greatest gatekeeper, so we're going to take the revenge and we're going to gatekeep the top spots from him. So let's get that shit done and over with. Down to Corpo. Corpo is an individual who I believe, from what I've seen, actually has the most development out of everyone else, because I've known him for longest. Most people would not know that because I don't really associate with people too much within Alcatraz. I'm a solo squad grinder. So Corpo, I've known him for quite a while and I've seen him progress within the game. 30 bombs were once quite difficult for him to attain. Now they are a normality. He is a Zim Apex keyboarder with very good actual mechanics. Most borders are actually ass in Blackout. I think we're gonna put him somewhere in the B tier. I'm not too sure exactly where we want to keep him. Definitely somewhere around this range in my opinion. Also, that profile pic was made by me, by the way, just saying, looking sexy. Anything else I would like to say about him? Because of the fact that I've known him a long time ago, like I've seen him progress within the game quite heavily, and the Corpo I knew from the beginning of the game is definitely a much different Corpo than that actually exists now. He is a more powerful man by far than what he was a long time ago, and that's definitely worthy of praise. I think because of his Zim Apex capabilities, I'm gonna put him up a bit higher than this. Morningstar, one of the newest individuals within actually one of the most powerful newest individuals within the Black Ops 4 state. He came right after the Blackout history video. That's when he started uploading, so most people would not have known his existence particularly well unless you look at my community tabs. Morningstar, in my opinion, we're gonna put him somewhere like up here, I think, in my personal opinion. Definitely because of his grind set, unlike Cam and Fearful, who have kind of disappeared. We might even put him above Genocide, possibly, who knows, because Genocide is actually, he's actually dead, he's in the grave, who knows, he's been missing in action. Because of his grinding abilities, I believe he would be able to uphold a better standard of gameplay than these two grinders. To a certain extent, he's a forged product within the making. He's just hit his 36 PR. Maybe he will get the 37 and then one day a 40. We shall see. He's an American grinder. He's very capable. I think definitely a deserved spot. Out of all the people within the game, he is outproducing everybody within the state currently for content creation, except me, obviously, because I'm built by my Zim Apex. I'm forged by the Maddox. So that's why I definitely have a lot of respect for him. Gameplay wise and capability wise, again, I haven't played with everyone on this list, but I have obviously like chowed them before with my Muddoks and etc etc. So I think this is a worthy placement for him. Again, some of these guys are like dead, or they just coming back out of being dead, reviving themselves. So it is quite difficult to rate some of these guys, but I'm rating people of how they are now rather than in prime. That's why you won't even see some of the corpses in here, like of course PD Breezy and Bear, because you can't really rate them, it's impossible. Anyway, okay, now this guy's a interesting individual. He holds the one title, which is the most interesting title of the world. He is the only individual in Alcatraz to have dropped a 40 bomb that has been 40 bombed. But anyway, let's not focus on that. He's a decent player, not gonna lie. I think he kind of, I don't know, it's very weird with him in particular. I think a lot of people fear him, but I'm not sure I get the hype particularly around OK. He's definitely a decent player. There's only one gameplay available of watching him, which is the 40 bomb. If there was more, maybe I could analyze a bit more information on him. Because of that, I think I might actually put him like somewhere below here. I'm not too sure. I'm thinking somewhere in this realm of endeavors. He, like, I don't know, I don't really get the hype too much about it. I think maybe we'll put it somewhere here. 40 bomb capability, obviously, which is very good and handsome. I guess we'll put it, I think actually, what I might do this. Might do this. Illy Stress doesn't have the Zim Apex. Corpo Zim Apex, I think, boosts him up a bit more in my opinion. Illy Stress will pull him back here at the B tier. We got Razwan now. Now Razwan, he actually has a heavy stock of gameplays, to be quite honest with you. Raw skill wise, not sure he's that particularly amazing currently. Definitely very good though, in my opinion. Very capable individual of the game. Obviously there's a lot of individuals I could have put in this tier list, but I'm not going to put in randoms so people don't know. So I'm only going to focus on people who actually upload gameplays and at least have a name known, for example like Box. So Razwan, in comparison to other people who are randoms, there are some people who are probably better than him particularly, but in fact, I think he's a decent player overall. Has actually a more viewed video than me because of Alcatraz. Because I mean, my channel somehow is still shit after 10 years, but it is what it is. Anyway, with Razwan, this B tier list is kind of getting crowded. We might have to move some people out and put them back in. We might actually put Fearful Dad's capabilities up, possibly. We shall see later. So yeah, we're gonna put Razwan over on somewhere here, I believe. I think that would be a good idea to put him here. Again, Corpos and Apex do be really boosting him up. Razwan is a guy who grinds from Asia, I believe. He's not actually in Europe, but he plays EU obviously, so his ping is shit. I don't believe anyone else here is actually in Asia, from what I'm aware. So again, realizing that, you can understand that he is a disadvantage. If we talk about solo squad players, actually, I don't think there's any solo squad player on here other than me. Even thinking about this, nah. I mean, I know Box is capable in solo, but he played it like 3 games and then just couldn't be asked. And other than that, yeah, that's about it actually. Our Brawler with the Black Ops 4 logo, like a true patriot. I'm thinking we put our Brawler like somewhere on Josh COD, and I think at this point we're gonna advance Barbaric Sloth to a D. These two actually don't have 30s yet. I put them in here because they upload a bunch of gameplays and reasonable, good enough capacity. And also I wanted 20 people, so I had to fill them up with somebody. So I'm thinking we put our Brawler here. He has a Sim Apex, which boosts him above the Josh COD in my opinion. He's also a more diversified grinder, grinding heavy metal heroes, and his knowledge seems to be slightly better and in certain capabilities. I'm not sure what his current best is. It's somewhere in the 20s, same with Josh COD. But I think we're gonna put them at a nice E, like the top tier of the grind of the top tier, bottom tier of the top tier grinders. Barbaric Sloth we're gonna put up to D because he actually has a 30 bomb right here. Now we got Tree to Bash High. A lot of output of videos for him, majority of which are 20s. However, within the current newer stages of time, he has uploaded more 30s. I'm thinking we put him somewhere like on a C tier right here. Consistency wise, I don't know. I wouldn't say his consistency is as strong as some of the grinders up here, but he's definitely a reasonably good individual. Raw skill wise, he is what he is. I'm gonna try and not talk to him too much negatives about people. I don't really like it. Trying to like bash my own brethren, my own brothers in arms. But I would say Bash has a long way to go to be a true grinder, but so do a lot of these other guys. I think with him, he's a man who is sort of just reached, I guess, the gold standard. So the gold standard is 30 bombs. To me, that standard is not really a thing, because for me the gold standard would be 40 bombs. But for most people it's like, oh yeah, if you get a 30 you're really good. I'd say that's like, he has reached that potential. With a lot of these other guys, it's a repeat sort of process due to raw skill. Zombies ate my pizza, and I haven't seen him in a while. I think man actually kind of died. At this point, I mean, I think we might put him at like... we might see, to be quite honest. Yeah, he does have a Zim Apex, obviously. And he's a border, I think. So, I mean, I think we'll put him at the D tier, to be quite honest with you. Quite a reasonable pick for me, to be quite honest. He's a capable individual. He has had some 30s in the past, however most of them are quite outdated. I don't think he grinds the game that much anymore, so his skill may be quite diminished. I think this is a reasonable place to put him. We'll put him a bit below Barbaric Sloth, because Barbaric Sloth has a lot of production still available, but this is like quite close together, so a lot of this, like, it's not like a big jump of skill in my opinion. I think this from D to C might be quite a reasonably big jump though, to be quite fair with you. I actually don't know about this placement, might need to switch this around. We'll look at the list later on and redo it. Zed Romy right here. We'll put Zed Romy like, I think in A tier. The greatest Zim Apex keyboarder of all time in the whole of Blackout. His Zim Apex is revered. His Maddox is usually ready. I think his Maddox is mostly ready though, like a bit more. But Romy, very capable individual. He also has knowledge which would enhance his gameplay from other realms of the game. Grind in multiplayer, league, 1v1s, big map, a man truly of all trades, but I'm a bit more of all trades than him, but that's just because I'm an account grinder. But anyway, Romy dropping some 30s. It's mainly his style of gameplay that is most worthy of praise, because contrary to popular belief, I'm not actually a keyboarder, unlike everyone said. Like, that's what everyone says, I'm a keyboarder, I'm a Zim Apex boarder, but that's not actually true. I use a controller, but I try to aim for Zim standard. Romy reminds me that I have not yet reached the Zim standard of gameplay. So that's what I praise most about his gameplay, because it's something that looks beautiful to watch. Now I think mine, people say it looks beautiful to watch, but maybe one day I'll make it a bit more like Romy's with the true Zim Apex capabilities. His Zim, beaming. His knowledge of the game, beaming. He's a worthy grinder. His knowledge of the game, beautiful. I think the only thing that gatekeeps him from going further, I'm not too certain how he hasn't dropped a higher kill game than his current best, which is at like 36 or something like that. Not too sure yet. Maybe one day we'll find out. Maybe one day things will change. I'm thinking we gotta clear this big B tier list, so we're gonna move some people out and put some people back in. I'm thinking we put like Fearful Dad to an A tier. His capabilities of mobilization are there. I think he could definitely mobilize himself in stronger affairs. I think this is, I would say he's quite on the edge though of the B8 tier. Really depends. It is his choice to reaffirm his grind set here. And we got this looking fine in my opinion. If Genocide were to return, cool. That's cool, no problem. I think this is all reasonably good. We might wanna. Ooh, I'm not too sure about that. Actually, now we'll keep it as it is there. I think that's fine. With K, I don't know about, might put it on the C tier, because the issue with K is he does not upload gameplays, and within the games, I don't know, to me, a lot of these individuals, like, they're kind of normal. Like, I would say for like here backwards, or actually maybe even here backwards, like most of these guys, they're like I don't know, to me they're like normal individuals in the game. Let's see, maybe we can, if we push back Illy Stress and put him on the edge of C, I don't think that's worthy of Illy Stress. I really don't think so. Unfortunately, I think this is gonna look like a really weird tier list where we have like a really long ass B tier and not many people below. So I think, but this is honestly like the most honest you could really do. I tried to pick out some of the bigger grinders of the game and put them in a reasonable tier list like this, and I think it worked out pretty well. I might switch out these, possibly, and I think actually I would switch out these, put them backwards, mainly because I have a, from what I'm aware, Be Repentance is not uploaded as stock of gameplays, it's full stock, whereas Treatabash has, and also I believe his consistency is of a higher range than Treatabash right here. And I think, you know, I think we all know where the last person's gonna go. If everyone's been awaiting the last person, I mean, what can I say? Like, we already know. We already know. Did you really think I was gonna put myself on the list? Are you high? Do you understand what the concept of my existence is? It is for the glory of Black Ops 4. The only individual you need to worry about is yourself. You have the potential to achieve whatever you desire in the game. You have full control. These are all just symbols and people that are on the screen. They are pixels that are being represented to you. You do not want to forget that. This is the form of doctrine I operate in. It's irrelevant what other people are achieving to your own existence. With me, focus on yourself, focus on what you can grind for. You are gifted in the fact that you can basically choose whatever you desire to do, and you can endeavor to improve yourself in any form. You have the freedom to build and mobilize yourself in whatever endeavor you have in Alcatraz. I would recommend you do so for the glory of Black Ops 4. And that's basically all that needs to be said for the tier list. I think some people might not understand this particularly well, but one day maybe you will. A lot of people within the future might join this list, maybe in a year's time. But the truth is, if you see this as the truth, the true reality of the world, then they are already here. You are already watching the video. It is time for you to end up on the list. Vive la gloire de BO4, and I'll see you around.